Where we at too? Where you say McDonald's? we at, where we at?
We at Krispy Kremes.
Krispy Kreme donuts.
Only when the light on.
Hey, look, y'all make sure y'all go like some of our posts that we posted. Hey, Jody, can you hit the camera for me, bro? Appreciate you, my G. Let's go.
Yep. As usual, I'll kick it off. B Glenn right here.
Yo, Jody, the one and only.
Your boy Solo Swang, Solo Dolo.
Bro's in the building. You know what it is.
Yep. We back in here, y'all, for another Thriller Thursday.
Hey.
Y'all could be anywhere else in the world, but y'all chose to be with us.
Yes, sir.
So we appreciate it.
What's good, Jody? I know you feeling yourself over there. You're feeling yourself.
I'm feeling good, bro. Yeah. I'm feeling good.
What's up, Brody?
Can't complain,
good, man.
baby.
I'm good.
Can't complain.
Look, for everybody that's tuning in right now, you know what I'm saying? We live on our IG page. We live also now on our Facebook page. This video will be posted on our YouTube page later. So, but if you want to get the full video experience, you can hop on over to our Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
PodcastHead. Bang, 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 baby.
Yes, sir.
So what y'all fellas got? Y'all got anything planned? You know what I'm saying, for the weekend? I mean, it's Thriller Thursday. We one step to the weekend, just about.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah,
I'm waiting for this. It's fight weekend this weekend.
Okay, we'll get into it, bro.
Boxing,
Get into
UFC. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Who's fighting?
Who's fighting?
Yeah, I need to know who's fighting. Come on.
Who's fighting?
Are we talking boxing? We talking UFC? Which one you want to go to first?
Let's do
you want.
the boxing.
I'm gonna start with my man's. I'm gonna start with boxing. All right. I'm gonna start with boxing. So this weekend we got none other than my man Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder going up against the they call him the Nordic Nightmare, Robert Helenius. You know what I'm saying? That's this Saturday at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So y'all make sure y'all tune into this joint, man. Wilder, he is coming off of a loss, but my man back in it. You know what I'm saying? So we ready to go.
When was that loss? Like last year? When was that?
Yeah, that was last
Tyson
year.
to Fury, right?
Yeah, the trilogy, man. One of the greatest trilogies in heavyweight history.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? But we're making I have a feeling it's gonna be a fourth. I have a feeling it's gonna be a fourth fight, but we're gonna see.
I mean, we shall see.
You know what I'm saying? And in UFC, we got Charles Oliveira. You know what I'm saying?
Never heard of him. But okay.
But he's the he's the current lightweight UFC champion of the world. He's got a record of 33-8-0.
Undefeated, huh?
Yeah, going up against someone who's his name is Islam Makhachev.
Right.
And but yeah, they got a stacked card for UFC 280 with him going. Then you got the bantamweight Aljamain Sterling going up against TJ Dillashaw. And then you got
Should be a pretty good fight.
Yeah. Bantamweight fireworks Peter Yan versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at in the
There's
world
some
of
content
sports.
in the fighting arena this weekend. Sounds good.
Yes, sir.
Well, tonight, we have the Commanders versus the Bears on primetime TV. So, if y'all want to tune in and watch Commanders, hopefully get a dub after like 4 straight
forget
losses.
them Commanders. No, man, I'm joking. Like, yo, that name. Let me tell y'all something, man. That name sounds like a little league team. Who going for the Washington Commanders? That sounds like semi-pro. I mean, semi-pro. Actually, semi-pro dope, but still, that name just don't even fit.
Yeah, they better do something.
Yeah.
Well, Then they have a good start. They started off. Then they went like
the
first
game,
something like that.
The first game.
Yeah, no, they did good. Yeah, they did good.
I was trying to get you a
after
look.
that.
Nah, it's no saving us right now.
I told B Glenn
We
maybe
the
it was the
Titanic.
name that helped him out a little bit.
Yeah.
Their name helped him.
We in the Titanic right now.
Yeah. You go.
But
Yeah. If anybody want to
Okay.
come up, I can definitely see.
Oh, you got it
Anybody-
on that. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
anybody
cool.
want to come up? I'm making sure I watch it.
All right,
I'm having a
sure.
hard time trying to wave at everybody. So
so since we in the first part of since we on sports football, how about we dive into this first article on high school sports?
let's go.
Real quick. I got to give you the intro beat.
Yo,
I got to give you the intro real
Indeed.
quick. You know what I'm saying? So
run with it.
we're gonna hit this intro real quick.
Let's go.
Breaking news, podcast head. So
Go ahead.
Max, this comes from us on Max Preps. It says it's written by Thomas Frey. High school football. How in the world Virginia team scores 91 points in the first half on the way to 112-16 win? That's basketball scores, fellas.
Yeah,
Basketball. So
ridiculous.
it says a lopsided recent series history between a pair of Virginia high school football teams continued in unfortunate fashion Friday night as Freedom of Woodbridge blasted Charles J. Colgan of Manassas 112-16. The victorious Eagles led 91-0 at halftime, winning in dominating fashion, which is ranked Freedom is ranked number 3 in the state of Virginia this week by the Max Preps computer. Let's see here. Colgan 2-4 has struggled in recent seasons, but began the 2022 campaign with 2 wins and has remained competitive in its 3 previous losses. So how does this happen? Dave Fawcett of Inside Nova detailed the blowout. It's worth a read. First year Colgan head coach Reggie Scott was an assistant at Freedom 2 years ago. Freedom went for 5 times following touchdowns in the first half. Jesus. Scott
Wait a minute.
acknowledged.
What? Say that one more time.
It says Freedom went for 5 times following touchdowns in the first half. So I'm guessing they went for 2 points 5 times in the first half. I guess. It says Scott acknowledged his team needs to stop opponents, but admitted to InsideNova.com, if it was me, it's not something I would do to someone I know. It is what it is.
What are you telling the kids to stop playing? I don't understand it.
So I read another article in lieu to this, and Mr. Overton, who's the coach of Freedom Woodbridge, stated that, they had 2 interceptions that went back for touchdowns. They had 2 fumbles recovered in return for touchdowns. I guess they also returned maybe some punts or a kickoff or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was special teams, the offense, the defense, everybody was just scoring. Me personally, I'm a believer in, sometimes you got to show respect to the other team, but in another breath, this is high school.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
This is high school. Like, you need to bring your best out there. If you can't compete, then you got to deal with what comes with it.
The thing I would look at it is, let's say if I was being recruited or I want to be recruited and I'm trying to be recruited, I'm not gonna lie, I'm going all I'm going in. If I know I could pad my stats before to get to college, I'm gonna go all in. I'm not gonna say, how do you go to your players and say, all right, y'all, stop playing, let them do something, don't give your all, when you get out there, like, what? Nah.
Right.
But just like we talked about all that, shouldn't it be a running clock? That's why they put the running clock after the halftime if you're leading by a certain amount, right?
In most schools, like 35 is the mercy rule. So in high school, they don't have mercy rule, but they do start the running clock. So I'm assuming come second half, they probably went with the running clock.
It's a running clock.
Heck, if you had 91 at halftime, you should have ran that clock after they got to like 35.
But see, they did show respect. They had 91 at halftime.
Yeah.
And then so they only scored 20 points, 21 points after that.
Yeah,
so,
true that.
So what was the disrespect there? We scored 91 points.
I guess
what
he's
you
just
want
in
me to
his
say?
feelings.
Stop? Like,
he was in his feelings.
Look, man, you step on the field, you gotta be ready. Bro,
you step on the field, this is what it is,
be ready, man.
you know what I'm saying? We ain't got time for all that, cuz.
Lower end school. Don't get on the field if you ain't ready to, you know what I'm saying?
It ain't like you owing something. You have got 2 wins. 2-5. Okay.
Yeah. Take it.
And from the way I look at the story, Freedom, right? Freedom is blowing people out 71-0, 70. 5 to 3s. I mean, they rank number 3 in the state. So I mean, hey.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is, bro.
It is what it is.
What we got next?
Solo, were you going to speak on this topic? You good?
Oh,
good. Okay, keep it rolling. We're going to keep right on rolling. All right, we're going to go to the next topic.
Next jump.
Let's see here. Where's So the next topic is not necessarily an article, but it's more so of a topic.
And you gotta let me know before we get to
go ahead
to the relationship.
This has something to do with it.
Yeah.
This is relationship based.
Yes, so is this a prelude in the next Jones relationships?
No, this is about relationships.
Okay.
So if you want to cue the music,
I gotta wait on my man.
We'll wait for him to get back over here.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, in between time, we got a few clips we plan on posting. So make sure y'all following us on our IG page. This show tonight will be posted on YouTube. So be sure to follow us, subscribe, like. We definitely would appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate that. Go ahead and get into it, man. I'll switch it to when you get ready. Go ahead and get into the next joint.
Well, at least say what we, what the topic is.
So pretty much the topic that we're going to dive into now is so it's a woman who makes 6 figures. She works a job. She makes 6 figures, and her husband was making a job that's making maybe 70,000 maybe a year, something like that. But he's trying to better himself, get a better job. Well, in the mix of getting this better job, this job is going to possibly move him or move them from where they're at.
Right.
Now she makes 6 figures with the potential to grow, you know what I'm saying, within that 6-figure frame. She doesn't really want to go. How does one maneuver through that specific situation? Because he's like,
they don't go.
Yeah.
Because that's a little bit of that's kind of selfish, I would say, in a way. I mean, I guess it depends on the perspective because we don't know the dynamics of their relationship.
Right.
But I'm only going to speak from me. Like, I know if my wife is further along than I am and she's still continuing to grow, I mean, it don't take me to move away for me to continue to grow. I don't think it should be able to be like, for example, if I do want to grow, I understand that, but I should be more respectful to my wife to understand that she's in a position where she is still growing and she's grown more than I have. And that happens. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be where I need to beat on my chest to say, oh, because I'm a man, I should be, and I understand people want to, got goals and stuff and they want to set, but you should have thought about that before you got married and before you said, you know what I mean? Like that stuff you should have communicated and talked about before you got married. I mean, that's the stuff right there that can, break up relationships and stuff. But at the same time, like I said, they should have communicated that. But he's still being a little bit selfish.
Yeah.
But this is along the lines of, right? Like, so she's the breadwinner essentially, right? And he's making less than her. And I mean, I'm going where the money at, man. It is what it is. I don't care. Hey, baby, you got a job.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Hey, baby, what you got? What you making? Okay, we gonna go ahead and chill here then. But that goes to the fact that, okay, all right, so if she's making already 6 figures and a significant amount in the 6-figure range, and he's making 60, 70, see, this is where I say the dynamic got to come in. Because do they have kids?
No kids.
See, that makes it even worse of him being selfish. Because if she's making 6 figures and he's in the 60, 70,000 range, they should be doing very well for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They should be doing very well for themselves. So it shouldn't be where he need to do anything. He should be enjoying their marriage instead of worrying about what what job I'm going moving away.
I'm guessing one would assume that he wants to, you know what I'm saying? He wants to achieve his goals in life, you know what I'm saying? And maybe his goals in life was taking him in that direction. But again, like you said, that's something that they should have talked about and discussed, like you always say, bros, those should have been communicated at the beginning of the relationship.
Like ain't no way. And if ain't no kids involved, I'm about to, you better sit your butt down and just, boy, what? Y'all supposed to be vacationing, enjoying life. You sitting up here talking about some job. I wish I would. I'm dead serious. I mean, to each his own. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
But I don't know the age. See, that's you can tell that's some young stuff. Because I'm gonna tell you right now. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell you right now. If we ain't got no kids and she doing 6 figures, you make it. Ain't no way. No, we gonna enjoy this. I ain't sitting up here talking about some. Oh, baby, let's move because I want to ambitious. I'm trying to get it back. No.
Yeah,
we gonna enjoy our life here. We gonna enjoy each other. See, that's what happens when people, and that's just me talking. That's what happens when people don't have other things in their life, like the dynamics of their relationship. Because if you don't have no kids, that means the world is your oyster. Yeah. Y'all can, and she makes good money, and essentially you make good money just to be with no kids. Yeah. Come on, man, stop it. Y'all should be enjoying life each other. I wouldn't even be worried about no job. What? I'd be at McDonald's somewhere. Look, let me get a better.
and that's the question too, right? It's like if he's gonna follow her, right? He's gonna drop whatever he's doing. So she's gonna be the support system at this point, right? Until he can, like, wherever they go, he can find something else.
Well, they don't have, so right now, currently, you know what I'm saying, is they're here in, you know what I'm saying, the Baltimore, DC, Washington area. Mm-hmm. So they're here, and his job might lead him to take him to maybe Texas or somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So it's like, how would she just leave if her job doesn't say that you can work remotely from another place? Then how do you navigate that situation?
Right.
That nigga done lost his mind. Let's just say that. Yeah. Ain't no way.
What you think, Solo?
Well, y'all already know what I would say. I would say what Jody said. That nigga done lost his mind.
Ain't no way, bro. I ain't no, man. She the breadwinner. I mean, I don't want to say, I hate to say breadwinner. Just if she got to solidify her position, her spot, her job, and you still, it basically almost sounds like he's still trying to figure it out. He make good, you know how you make decent money, but you're still trying to figure out where you want to, you know what I mean? Bro, this is what you signed up for. Ain't nobody tell you to get married. You the one proposed, and you know, hey, look, this is what you signed up for.
You give up the eyes for weeds.
There it is. There it is. You give up that for, look, hey.
You give up the weeds for please.
Look, yeah, exactly. No, man, this is what you signed up for, bro. Like, what you talking about?
And nobody put a gun to your head either.
Yeah, man.
You signed up for something on your own. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, it's a tough situation, you know what I'm saying? But that's choices. You know, everybody got a choice, whether you choose.
But see, and you're right, B. And I would say this. Okay, and y'all give me some. If he's sitting up there talking about he wants to follow his dreams. Okay, this is just me looking in. I'm analyzing, right? Mm-hmm. That means I would say he's not happy in his marriage.
I don't know.
Okay. Hear me out.
Go ahead.
Hear me out. This nigga out.
Yeah, because if I was happy in my marriage, it wouldn't matter what job I'm in. It wouldn't matter where we at. It wouldn't matter as long as we are together and we are flourishing as a couple.
Okay,
it wouldn't matter.
Okay,
but if I'm not happy, that means I'm looking for avenues to go somewhere. I'm looking for places to go. It's almost like me. It's almost like on the weekend, I'm always keep hanging out with the fellas, trying to, escape home.
Right.
He trying to use the job things to escape from wherever he's at in the relationship. Correct? Do y'all follow me?
Yeah.
I mean, you hear what I'm saying?
I feel like, I feel you too.
Because with no kids, come on now. What are we talking about here? You serious?
Yeah.
I mean, are we serious? You trying to what?
I mean, like we had the conversation a while ago. You know what I'm saying? We talked about like how this is off air. We talked about how like it's sacrificing. You know what I'm saying? You got to sacrifice for certain things. You know, I remember early on in my career where, you know what I'm saying, I sacrificed a pay cut so I could be home and spend that time with my family. So, you know, maybe that cat should look into that. You know what I'm saying? Sacrificing. So money isn't everything.
That's true.
It's a lot, and it means a lot to a lot of folks, but it's not everything.
Right. Great example. You see what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. You see how you said you sacrifice to be for your wife because the love is there.
Right.
this dude trying to leave.
Going where the money is.
It's almost like, why are you trying to, like, what are you trying to accomplish? It's almost like somebody come and say, but wait, we make good money already. What are you trying to do? Well, I need more. Like, what do you mean you need more? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that means you need more from me. Like, I'm not satisfying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not satisfying you because you're looking for more.
Yeah.
You know?
True that.
I'm telling you, man. Sometimes you just gotta read between the lines of a lot of situations. I know sometimes it maybe can seem a little bit over analytical, but sometimes when you look at situations and people actions and stuff, you got to look at it that way because it's crazy.
No doubt. My question is, we can utter this question to, the folks on IG, Facebook, what have you, you know what I'm saying? How would y'all feel if you made significant amount of money and your husband or significant other, got a job that's making, decent money elsewhere, but he has a good job where he's at? Do you pack up and drop what you're doing where you can further your monetary makings to appease him to get this job? That's the question.
I mean, at the same time, like in this situation, like if he's leaving for a better job, am I understanding that correct? Yeah.
So he's leaving, to make more money, a career, so to speak, that he wants to endure in.
Is this gonna be more than what she making?
See, that's what I was going. See, that's where I was going to say.
I don't know if it is because,
say that.
Say, for instance, this female makes like 200-some thousand, but she has a capability of maybe getting to, more.
Right.
I'm sure what he's going to start off with moving somewhere else ain't going to be what she's making. You know what I mean?
But that's something that you got to talk about. Like if you making 2 and we can go over here and the career path is better and we're going to be at 350. You know what I'm saying? Like what, what's more? I mean, because like in my situation, like my wife, she had her career. You know what I'm saying? She was doing what she wanted to do, and then she got to a point to where now this was a mutual decision. She got to a point to where she wanted to stay home. When I got to a position to do that, she's at home now. So
right.
She gonna go where I go. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So basically saying, but this is the thing. So when you ready to move, do you just move because she stays at home? She don't have, you get what I'm saying?
No, I mean, it's something that we still talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's something we still talk about because it's at the same time, it's more than just money, right? Like where we are, like we got family, we got support system and stuff like that. See, that's why I was going when I said it depends on the dynamic of the family. That's why I asked if they have kids or whatever, because that factors in, your decision. But again, I mean, like you said, what I was thinking, I mean, is this job that you trying to pursue going to pay more? Where I don't have to, you get what I'm saying? Right. But obviously from the article, it seemed like she knew that what he's trying to do ain't going to bring the bread that she's bringing in. So why are you chasing a career that ain't gonna bring what I bring? You just want to just chase a career because you want more. See, that right there is telling me something that's going on in your relationship, and you don't have kids. There's something underneath that's going on that you're not exposing. You get what I'm saying?
So I pose this question to y'all: how big, on a scale of 1 to 10, is communication in a relationship?
10.
I would say 12.
I mean,
I would say 12.
I mean, it depends on what type of relationship you're in. You feel what I'm saying? Some people don't feel like communication is that serious, but I feel like it's 100%.
If you want it to work, it's critical.
That's fact.
Yeah.
If you want it to work,
if you in it, if you and your significant other are in it for other reasons or your own selfish reasons, then communication might not be important. That's what I said.
But then what we talk about is what type of communication we talking about. Effective, we talking about, what I'm saying, like emotional. We talking about feel. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Because
you're talking about you trying to get into the love language.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Because I mean, when we talk about communication, are we talking about your wants and needs? What are we talking about here? What you need?
I mean, when you say communication in a relationship, it's got to be on all levels.
Yeah.
Oh no, I agree.
I'm still learning to be more of a communicator, even in my relationship after being together for some time. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a never ending story of actually learning how to communicate. But the key is you gotta be open to communicate.
Right.
And see, that's key right there. You got to be open to communicate. Yeah, you got to be open to communicate.
Yeah.
Because realistically, we've seen this. We all seen this. We've been around some years. We've been in relationships. We've seen this where some people are introverts and they don't communicate like that, but they expect you to know what they feeling or understand, especially women. We talk about women, you should know what I'm feeling, or you should know what I'm going through, or you should know. Yeah, you should know. But it's like, wait a minute, I'm not a mind reader. Like, you have to speak to me. You have
that
to.
Song? I'm not a mind reader.
You get what I'm saying? I'm not a mind reader. So you have to tell me what's going on. They always say, men, y'all got a one-track mind. I can't. If you say, baby, I'm hungry, and I say, okay, babe, what you want? But I've been hungry like for 2 hours.
Nigga, I don't know what you want.
There it is. There it is. You know what I want. I mean, I don't know what you starving. Want. Or I didn't know you was hungry. Why you didn't say you was hungry? You should have. I ain't ate in like 2 or 3 hours. But how would I know you hungry?
I'm not hungry. Yeah, you gotta let me know you hungry.
So you gotta, or baby, what you want to eat? You should know what I like to eat, baby. I don't know what you like to eat.
And you know what's sad? When you do order for them, right? When you do order from, I didn't even want that. Well, I won't never order for you ever again.
That's what you asked for.
Look, you just eat the bread on the table. Nigga. Eat the bread.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I can't stand, and y'all could, because y'all married, so y'all could chime in on this one. You know, one part I can't stand, when you've been with a person for so long, and then they bring you something they know you never ate before. You never ate before. Have y'all ever had that problem? Please tell me.
They might be trying to expand your palate, bro.
No, have they ever? So it happened. You better say it.
Trying to expand your palate.
You better say it on this daggone podcast right now.
You can't look. You better be. You can't eat bologna sandwiches and chips for the rest of your life.
Barbecue chips was a mustard. What
you want for breakfast? Frosted Flakes.
So they did bring you some. You be like, what is this? It's your favorite. Don't you eat this? No, I've never eaten this. What are you talking about?
But that goes back to communication.
So let me get this straight. Do you fake it? Do you just be like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted?
No, then she's gonna bring it to you again.
I just feel like at the end of the day, you better speak up, because at the end of the day, especially you've been in a relationship 10, 15 years. Don't think it's because we've been in a relationship 10, 15 years. We know what you want. You may not even want that today. I may bring you chicken wings. Well, I didn't ask for chicken wings. You put hot sauce on it. Well, nigga, I don't know what you want. Sorry, you just gonna starve. You just gonna starve tonight because I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, communication, as we had to go back to that, communication is very big in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just, letting people know. The silent treatment don't work. The silent treatment make problems worse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's good to walk away. Don't get it twisted. It's good to walk away, clear your thoughts. But like my mom and my dad used to say, don't go to bed mad. You know what I'm saying? Don't go to bed the next day with the same situation, because then now you mad and the person didn't let it go. You know what I mean? I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna be real with you. Men let things go. If it was yesterday, it was yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I got some time where
it depends on what
sometimes
it is.
Me and my wife get into it, and I'm like, I ain't saying nothing. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And it's not right, though. You totally right. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't go to bed mad. But I know it's a lot of us that do. But, when you're stubborn, I'm a Taurus. We all Tauruses, and I think that's just
But what I'm saying is that, like, you forget about, like, say, for instance, about the food thing, right? The next day, you're like, hey, babe, I just made you some grits. Well, nigga, you didn't make that last night for me. But like, dang, I'm making it down. Like, can we get past that? You got to get past certain situations, man.
What do you think that? I think it comes from, it's still out of love, but it's like, it's almost like, how, okay, I've seen it where, how sometimes you already went there and you was wrong for going there, but you can't help it. You already committed to it. So I got to go all the way. It's like, I'm mad, but I know I'm wrong, but I got to keep.
We got a comment.
I got to keep going.
From August Monica. She said, not all men. Erica Tizano said, communication is important. Absolutely.
Yeah. So said not all men what?
Not all men. I think she was referring to
my statement.
Yeah.
Man, maybe. It's like, sometimes you sit
controversial statements.
Sometimes you go in, you like, baby, like, why you ain't bring me nothing to drink? I like this. You be like,
who said that? Baby, you ain't bring me nothing to eat.
Yeah.
Gina, you ain't bring me nothing to eat.
Man, I tell you, man, the other day I went out to do something, right? And I got back late, and the wife had went to Chick-fil-A early, right?
Mhm.
So I got home. I'm hungry as mud. Right? I was like, baby, you ain't give me no Chick-fil-A. I'm low-key mad on the way home. Like, come on, man. So, it's things like that. That's the communication part, man. I probably should have communicated to her, like, hey, if you go out, can you grab me something? I mean, sometimes us as men feel like I shouldn't have to ask. She should just do it. But sometimes you do got to communicate that because they're not thinking. So,
So,
no. You gotta say it. You gotta say it.
No.
You got
we keep it a buck.
You gotta say
it just depends. Again, look, the first thing I'm gonna say, man, and I think this will help everybody, right? Like if you haven't taken the love language test, you know what I'm saying? You should definitely do that. This website right here, 5lovelanguages.com/quizzes. If you haven't done this, do it, man. It'll definitely help you in your relationship because, you know what I'm saying? It's like for me and my wife, like we were together for a long time before we took a quiz like this, right? So like you're going through your relationship and you're thinking like as men, right? We think we could be like, oh no, but I'm communicating. I'm telling you this, you know what I'm saying? And she could be like, oh, she could be feeling a certain way. Like, oh, I don't feel like you do this. And her love language is possibly different from yours. You know what I'm saying? And by that, I mean, like my love language is touch. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to touch. I like to cuddle. You know what I'm saying? Touch. her love language is positive affirmations. You know what I'm saying? So telling her periodically, you know what I'm saying? Oh, baby, you know, so I'm proud of you. You know, you doing good, so on and so forth, right? So, but when you don't know what your partner's love language is, it's hard to you can find yourself in those battles where you both are thinking that you're doing what you should be doing for the other person.
Technically, you're not.
Exactly, because it's not resonating with that person because that's not what they're looking for.
Yeah, I'm interested in trying that, man, because my homeboy of mine told me, said maybe you need to learn her love language.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? So
try this, bro. Try this. Trust me.
I have to try it out, see what it's all about.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, you know what's so crazy? That's so interesting. Because it's like she positive affirmation, man. I think a lot of women are like that.
Yeah.
Positive affirmations, man. Just to know that like they're still beautiful or they're still, you know what I mean? They doing a great job or something like that.
Well, it's definitely different. It's definitely different love languages too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got different love languages. But I was just having this conversation with B as we were coming down here. I feel like every woman and every man shows love differently. You feel what I'm saying? And the way you think they may need love may not be the way they need love. So I feel like that's why communication is very important, because some of us grow up in a household where we are just like our parents and we don't even know it. We don't even realize we just like them. You know what I mean? We pass down generational traits and generational problems.
Creatures of habitat.
Exactly. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like to where your mother and father may not have been lovey-dovey, and then you get into a relationship and you're doing the same thing, and you be like, "Dang, I didn't realize I had an issue. I didn't realize I had a problem."
Right.
And the person be like, "You know, that's not normal." Like, it is normal. My mom and dad did it. Well, no, that's not normal. Like, I don't think you realize that's not normal. So, I think what happens is like B was saying, we're habits a creature that we don't want to change, and then when we get in a relationship, we don't want to change it. We wonder why our relationship is going downhill because we're not really looking at the bigger picture. You feel what I'm saying? And what's important and what's natural. And let's talk about that for a second.
But you know what?
Go ahead.
It's funny you say that, because I think what happens is, this is just me. In the beginning of relationships, we are a certain way, right?
We're blinded.
All right. Now, then once we do get good into the relationship, then they come with the communication to say what they really want now. Does that make sense? It's almost like we're dating and we're courting right now, but you're not talking about how you want, you know what I'm saying? How you want me, what am I doing wrong or what am I doing right? You're not saying anything. You're just letting it happen organically, right? But then as we get comfortable with that person, then the person want to come and say, well, you know what, if you did this more and this more, but you like, but wait a minute, you met me like this.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, we got married like with me like this. But now you're coming at me saying you need me to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
And you
And
never address that in the very beginning. You never say, hey, look, before we get married, this is what I'm expecting for my spouse to be. I'm expecting this. But when you get married, you be like, well, you know what, baby, Johnny be doing this and you don't do this. Well, nigga, you didn't marry Johnny. Nigga, you married me. What the hell is wrong with you?
But again, it goes back to that wasn't expressed in the beginning, because first of all, we already know, you're all lusting and you're excited, and the excitement just overturned. But then, exactly. And then all of a sudden, once we start getting comfortable, it's like, well, like you just said, well, wait a minute, you don't do this and you don't, but you like, but wait a minute, like I didn't do that in the beginning. Like you didn't tell me nothing. Like we just date. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want to do this real quick because I got my homeboy in the building. I want to give a special shout out to my homeboy real quick. Me and Big Glenn was talking about this. Shout out to my man Track Music for coming in the building. He just got picked up as a producer by the Houston Rockets. So he's going to be producing for the Houston Rockets.
That's what's up, man. Go ahead, hit the hand clap. You got the hand clap on that jump.
I
clap, man.
do not have it here. I don't want to push the wrong button. Yeah,
come on, man.
So I definitely want to just give him a shout out real quick for that, because I seen that on his IG and I was just like, nigga, please make sure you get us some tickets. I'll fly out, nigga. I will fly out. But go ahead.
We also got some comments. Erica Zeno said, if you don't talk with each other, how you going to build a good relationship? JB, they said true. Talent speaks for me is in the building. Appreciate you coming through.
Yeah.
So she's back. Hey guys.
Hey.
She said Talent speaks for me, says she's very vocal. I accept you as you are or leave you alone. Let's see here.
Okay, but when we talk about, get back to that. Accept you as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Accept you as you are. Are we really accepting them as they are? I'm talking about man and woman.
So
are we really accept them as they are?
That's a good question. But to even chime in on that though, if you say accept them as you are, everyone is susceptible to change throughout life, right? Yeah. So within your relationship, you're going to have to change. There's certain things that you did in the beginning of the relationship that you might not like moving on, you know what I'm saying, as some years go by, that you got to change and adjust and adapt.
Right.
And I mean, it's are you going to adapt to that person, or is it just something that you can't deal with and you got to move on?
But what are we talking? But see, that's what I'm saying. What are we adapting to? Like we should already know. Like what do I need to adapt to?
To each other.
I mean, but I'm just saying, once we already dated and know, but what am I adapting to?
When you see, so people always say, oh, well, we grew apart. Okay, so growing apart, I understand you can do that. But can you
really? How can you grow apart?
See,
I want to hear that.
There it is.
I want to ask you, how can you grow apart?
You get into it.
If you
explain.
One example is
y'all never was growing together.
No. If you get together and you going out and you doing certain things and then you move in, those things are being done, right? One way of growing apart is that you just stop doing the things that you used to. If you're not showing her attention or vice versa, right? That's some way that you can grow apart. Right?
Exactly. But how do that start? Like how? Okay, if I get with my wife, I mean, I know, but okay, let's say let's keep it 100, right? Okay, we could say the sex stopped coming as frequently. We can say he or she gained weight. We can say he or she stopped communicating.
I was about to say, don't say that one.
But why?
They gained weight. I can't pick you up no more. Nigga, what? You can't pick me up no more.
Do we feel like we should exhaust all costs before we start to say we grew apart? What happened? What changed? What we just say? What I feel like is people don't address that.
Right.
Like people don't address that.
There's that communication word.
That is. People don't address that before they say, oh, we just grew apart. But what did you do? What happened? Oh, well, they don't want to express what happened. Well, he or she became unattractive. Like, right? He or she became unattractive. But what did you do to help them stay attractive, or what did you do to help them, or what did y'all
really
do
in this part? I really would like if y'all can please in the comments let me know if y'all want to come up. I need to hear some ladies.
Well, we got some messages here too.
I want to hear some ladies.
It's a lot. Like what happened when all this just changed? Yeah, y'all know I'm tipsy now. I'm on my grit.
Track Music said I had issues of my mom ways that I wasn't aware of until I was called out on. Violin tech extraordinaire. Conversations like this are a great reason to practice the act of creativeness and expression through making music. Talent, good one. Talent speaks for me. Said, I feel like growing apart is only if the communication suffers. Track music says, crazy things is the issues I didn't like about my mom, I became that. Wow. Right. Talent speaks for me. Said, but why did they become unattractive?
But see, that's what I'm saying. It's a whole number. It's a whole number of reasons why people say, but people. I feel like people just use that term. We grew apart.
Yeah, as a way to get out.
It's not addressing. Not addressing the real issue.
Right.
There were issues. What happened? Don't just say, okay, no, we just grew apart. Okay, how? What changed? Because in the beginning, everything was roses and petals and violins, and then so what changed? Where you was like, okay, we grew apart.
Right. And I feel like you can, when situations like that come about, you can tell if the person they really mean it, or if they're just using it as using that as an excuse to get out of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go to them and you try to have the conversation, but then they don't want to get into it, and it's just like, I'm just gonna fall back. Then they probably just trying to get out of a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to your point earlier, have they exhausted every communicative option, right, to work through those problems? You know what I'm saying? If you're with this person, that's the person that you want to be with, and it's reciprocated, then you will talk and work through those problems.
I brought up my boy Track Music in the building. What's good? Bang, bang, bang.
What up?
Hey, what's happening? What's good, fellas? What's happening?
What's going on, man?
What's good?
I'm gonna turn down for you.
Y'all on a serious topic, man. Y'all on a serious topic.
Oh yeah.
Before we jump in there, I'm gonna read just a couple of comments real quick. August Monica said, "People grow and change. The question is, are you growing and changing with them?" Aaron Jones says, "Hey guys, what's hard?" Talent Susan says, "In my experiences, when I grew apart, it was because there wasn't any substance in the beginning."
Wow.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yep. So
what was going on in the beginning? But go ahead. What's going on, Track?
So Track, I wanted to ask Track because Track has some really good comments in there, and I wanted you to retrack and say what you was talking about and explain what you were saying, because that was a very dope comment.
Pun intended.
Yeah, man. Basically, man. Me and my mother relationship, I know most of everybody, have a great relationship with their mom versus, but it wasn't like that for me on my end. Kind of ended in a bad note. Not only me, just my brothers, my sisters. It was like, we all didn't have a good relationship with our mother. So, crazy thing is, she was on a sick bag and we were trying to call her, and she had us blocked. And, we was like, what the hell? So, when she died, he was like, man, that's crazy. Like, this is how you want to be remembered. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So,
that's tough, man.
So she ended up dying, right? The funeral, it was crazy, man. Because none of her kids had anything to say.
Man, wow.
Sorry to hear that. I'm gonna tell you, the main thing that caused this whole issue was religion.
Wow.
Religion, religion took it's like religion overcame her, or she took religion way, too out of pocket, to where, not out of pocket, but she took it. She was more about religion versus her family.
Wow.
So,
she was a holy roller.
That was a serious thing. So that was a big turn off on my end.
Do you feel like Track? Do you feel like that's?
Thing,
I was gonna say, Track. Do you feel like that's probably why, when it comes to like religion and stuff like that, you kind of take it to a different perspective because of your mom and stuff like that? Or would you say?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, big time. Now I don't knock anybody, but I don't knock anybody who that's with a religion. That's you is you. You know what I'm saying? You do you, but I'm not finna let you trust me with religion. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've done many years of that dealing with my parents. So, but the thing is, you can have your religion and still know how to be a parent and still, you know, you still got life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
You still got life going on. You know,
Let-
when you forget about, you know, your kids and stuff like that, due to your religion and stuff like that, you know, you put religion above everything else. You know, that's you might not know it, but that's real damaging.
Let me ask you this, Trey.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, bro. Do you feel
Yeah.
like religion has breaking up, or I would say not just breaking up, but has caused a lot of issues when it comes to people wanting to get married or being in a marriage?
Could be. Yeah. You know, people with different beliefs and stuff like that, man. You know, that, you know, I mean, if it's like that, man, you know, if people can't, like, at least have respect enough, you know, to respect each other's, you know, boundaries and stuff like that, or, you know, beliefs, you know, I think it's just best for y'all not to get married, because what y'all gonna do is collage later on, and it's gonna end up being more damaging than it was before when y'all first got together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just best. Hey, it's best for y'all to remain friends after that. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you a question, Track. You said you were stating that do any of that you went through your mom have an effect on you in your relationships?
Hell yeah, man. Shit, I became my mom. It's like, and I,
Wow.
I went to therapy. I became my mom, man. I became the very thing I didn't like about my mom. I became that.
So like, give us some
because
examples. Give us some examples.
Don't get me wrong. I didn't have a hatred towards her,
Mm.
but it was like a great dislike because, you know, you got, you know, it's, you know, it's easy for you to do dirt, but it's so hard for you to even say, I apologize, I was wrong.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
but you're a Christian though.
Mm.
You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? And they and Christians normally practice forgiveness. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So the fact that you never came to your kids and, you know, and said, you know, hey, I was wrong for this, you know, I'm sorry for it, you know, but you went to God. You went to God, you know what I'm saying, to talk about it. And I'm like, man, you know, you can talk to God all day, man, but you need to go to the source and who you hurt. You know what I'm saying? That's with anything.
That's
you know
powerful.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
You know, that's with anything. So, you know, that's been accountable. So it's like, you know, she never had any she never was accountable. You know what I'm saying? And I feel, you know, I have some traits of that too. You know what I'm saying? I have some traits of that, and I've been called out on, and you know, and that's some stuff I'm digging in and studying. Like, hey, you know, I'm studying this. I'm being aware of my issues. And I'm starting to become knowledgeable about issues.
I think that's a good,
Yeah.
honestly, Trek. I think that's, I'm gonna give you kudos for that, for being a grown man, because a lot of people honestly don't want to take accountability from situations that they bring into relationships. And that is one of the reasons why I think a lot of relationships fail. So to hear you say that, bro, and I know you personally, but to hear you say, you know what I mean, you taking accountability and you went to therapy and for stuff like that, where some people be like, yeah, I don't even need therapy. I don't think I need therapy.
Man,
but
bro, look, bro, I had an anger problem I ain't really realized I had, bro. So my wife said something about it. And she was like, man, you need to go to anger management, man.
Know about that.
Your communication,
Don't we all?
everything is off. You know what I'm saying? Everything is off. So, you know, I wasn't, you know, I was smart enough to be like, yeah, okay, let me give it a try. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me give it a shot. Kind of find out, yeah, you know, I was the jacked up one. You know
bro, you're getting a lot of comments
I'm
too. I don't know if you're reading the comments, but you're getting a lot of comments from the ladies on what you saying. So, I mean, you speaking deep, bro. You about to have some niggas up here crying like, I need to go back and talk to my mother.
Now, for real though, man.
But that's facts though.
Because you can damage yourself and don't even realize you're damaging yourself until it's too late. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I'm not even yourself, but the people around you. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. So we got.
Yeah.
Go ahead. My bad. So I was gonna say we had a couple of.
Man, basically, you know,
we had a couple of comments too. Accountability gets all my respect from Tyler Speaks for Me. Black Butterfly said people never think about the long run. We too much in the moment. Being equally yoked is a real thing, but even if y'all respect each other's beliefs, it doesn't mean they mesh together. Erica said this is powerful and the testimony. Indeed.
I think
man, I'm gonna put it to you like this, man. Y'all, anybody want to be married, man? Anybody want to be married? Dog, you got to be married to somebody that's your best friend, or y'all became friends. You know, y'all started off as friends.
What they say in church, you got to be equally yoked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's huge, Track. Appreciate that. No doubt.
So what the question that I have for you is just like when you said it affects you in your relationships, right? Like, is it that you are less drawn to women or to relationships where the woman is religious or is not?
Well, I mean, that's a good. I mean, I was going to say, well, his wife. That's a thing you need to ask him. Like, is your wife? When it comes to that, do you guys have that situation where is your wife religious? Do you guys go to church? Do you guys do things where you guys do things still spiritually, or does that turn you off? Like, yo, I don't want to be a part of that.
No, we don't go to church, but we are spiritual. We
okay.
Are spiritual.
That's dope.
We are like connected and learning to be connected with the universe. Mm-hmm. So it's like a spiritual. It's like it's to me, it's bigger than a religion. To me, you know, but spiritual, universal, man. That's what we are. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be with her if she was religious.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I want to ask y'all this. And I'm gonna ask because I like what you just said. I like what you said, Track, because I'm gonna be real with you. Me coming, and y'all know this, whoever know me, coming from a family that's, you know, a pastor's a PK. That was like the hugest thing for me. Like, I felt like if you were not, go ahead. What you gonna say, Track? What you gonna say?
No, I feel you, bro. Because my mom and dad was pastors.
And I mean, let me ask you this. You finish, Larry. So, I feel like it's tougher, right? It's tougher being a pastor's kid.
Oh
right?
My God!
In terms of what? In terms of like the expected responsibilities that you have, you know what I'm saying, to put out and portray to everyone, but just the overall discipline is different.
It's tough because you're right. Under. Go ahead, Chris. I'm gonna go ahead, Track, because I'm gonna let you go because I know Track.
No, you good.
No, I was just gonna say from my perspective, you're under a microscope. Okay. That's number one. And number two, people already have a high expectation of who you're supposed to be with. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And they already have a high expectation on how you're supposed to live, how you're supposed to date. And back in the day, we couldn't date. We couldn't go on a date. We couldn't go to prom. We couldn't go to homecomings. We couldn't do certain things as a average kid could do. Because in reality, you're quote unquote a PK. You ain't supposed to be out here right now. You ain't supposed to be talking to her right now. She ain't your type. You supposed to be with this type, not realizing that whatever God has for me is for me.
That's
go ahead,
bondage,
Chris.
Man.
I mean, go ahead, Trey.
That's like being suppressed. It's
right.
just like just like being oppressed.
Yeah, man, because it's
just like, you know what I'm saying. Just like you know, you ain't supposed to do this. You ain't supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to do this. You ain't. Man, look here, man. Look here. Hey, they say we were born in the sand, right? And they say, you know what I'm saying. They want us, you know, Christians, you know, repent for our sins, our mistakes, right? How would you ever learn, dog, if you don't go through mistakes, man?
Right.
It takes, man. Look, I'm at I own a truck, right? So, but I'm leased on to this company. I've been with this company for like two, almost 3 months. I'm still learning from my mistakes. I'm still learning from my mistakes. You know, I know what to do now. I know what to do next time. I know what to do. You know what I'm saying? You learn. You know, everything in life is a learning moment, not a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want to ask y'all this too. I want to ask y'all this. Do y'all feel like religion is an important piece of a marriage or a relationship? Do y'all feel like and I'm asking everybody on the panel, us up here too, like as men, as women, do y'all feel like it's important for your spouse to have some type of relatable religion? You know what I mean? Like you could be Buddha, she could be Christian, or you Muslim. You know what I mean? Do y'all feel like that matters?
I think it matters I think it matters to an extent. Like I don't think it's, I mean, what I would say is like I think it's hard. I think it'll be hard for two people who share different religions to be and stay together. You know, depending on, you know what I'm saying, because like you got Christianity on one end and you got you know, Muslim Mormon on the other side or whatever.
To chime in on that, you know, my grandmother on my mother's side is a Jehovah's Witness, right? And my grandmother on my father's side is a Methodist. So, you know, I attended the Kingdom Hall some Sundays, and most Sundays I went to the Methodist church. So, you know what I'm saying? I would say that when you're raised or brought up in different religions, it makes you more open, exactly, and accepting. Right. So my thing right now with myself is I really don't claim. I can listen to the meeting with my wife because she's a Jehovah's Witness. I can listen to the meeting and I can still get what I need to get out of the content that's being displayed. I can listen to the Baptist, I can listen to the Methodist, but I don't consider myself personally as any individual, you know what I'm saying, like religion. Exactly. Right. I believe there's a higher power. You know what I'm saying? I believe all.
Right. Hey, my add something with that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So me, you know, not saying, you know, if you're like, just say if you're a Christian, that's fine. That's you. Do you? I gain knowledge out of, you know what I'm saying, out of that, you know what I'm saying, out of that religion, you know what I'm saying? And I know like Proverbs is like pretty, you know what I'm saying, straightforward towards the like, you know, wisdom and gaining knowledge and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like me, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm not gonna push myself and my spiritual beliefs and what I believe on you. I don't, you know, I can listen, I can hear, but to force something on somebody, it's like, you know, that's like a no-go for me.
Yeah.
You know? But
and that's the thing too, man. It's like with
I'm done, man. I just want to say.
No, you good.
No, you good.
Nah, but like that's the thing too, man. And I'm sorry, like, you know, I'm sorry, like you had to even go through that, right? Because like that's not what religion is supposed to be, right? Even like from a family perspective. And I feel like there's some people who are over religious, right? In terms of like you can't expect for someone to just automatically do what you think they should be doing. Like Solo, you came up as a pastor's kid, right? I think it's unfair for the church to look at you to do certain things that they probably not even doing, right? That they own kids probably not even doing.
But why do you think a lot of them rebel too? Because you know, Solo
out here, sex
because it's just too much, you know,
too much pressure.
Yeah, expectations,
yeah.
Man. It's like it's crazy.
This is what I would say on
this. Hey, read some of the comments.
You can only be.
My bad. I was gonna say we got Chris Michael up here, and we got Heart of the Pen up here too. Welcome to the panel, so we can go ahead and get some perspectives and get this chat going. Because everybody, one thing is, thank y'all for all coming in here because everybody's really talking about this topic. This must be a serious topic that's happening right there behind the scenes.
No doubt. I'd like to have some ladies up in this thing though, just to get a female perspective. But we gonna rock with what we got.
What's the comments? The comments. One of them say, she was saying something about religion don't matter.
Let's see.
Put God, as long as they got God.
Black Butterfly said absolutely matters that the man I marry have a personal relationship with God, not religion. Eric Zeno said Townsend, it's always debates when it comes to religion. Townsend says I agree. Black Butterfly said I respect religious beliefs, but I seek a relationship with God. Because Monica said yes. Brief Vibe says I was raised Jehovah's Witness too.
So can we say is religion important?
So let me.
Can we say religion important?
Actually, there's some women in the comments saying that absolutely yes.
No, but she said, I mean, it's not, but just as long as you seek God. I mean, it's important to seek God. That's what she said. No,
somebody said, "Yep."
I mean, at the same time, I mean, are we saying religion? If you meet a nice female and she meet all your check all your boxes, or a woman, man or woman,
9 out of 10, huh?
She check all your boxes, and you gonna say, "Oh, you're not that religion. I can't do it."
Do you know Jesus?
I mean, that's the first.
Well, you gotta show some signs.
Okay, so
talk with Jesus.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Chris, and then we're gonna go to Heart of the Pen. Chris, what's your take on it? Because you a preacher's kid too. You grow up in church too. So what's your take on it?
I just recently became a preacher's kid. I've always been a church kid. Honestly, I think you have to have some sort of belief system in order for a relationship to really be solid. It doesn't have to be Christianity. It doesn't have to, both be, the same thing. But if you are with someone who doesn't believe anything, it's going to be hard to really connect with them on a deeper level. So I don't think they have to necessarily be the same religion, unless you're both devout. If you're both in it, then you will probably be the same thing because you're going to clash. There's going to be some differences in how you want to either run the household, raise your children, what you want to teach them. So if you practice heavily, if you are a devout Christian, a devout Muslim, not saying it can't work, but there will be some differences there. There will need to be some compromise. I just feel like, significant other needs to at least have some sort of belief system, because if you believe and you have faith and they don't, it's definitely going to run into some issues.
Okay, so we go, and I think that's facts. I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying on that. I feel like you do have to have some type of standard. Like you guys got to come to a table of agreement of what you're gonna do, because I do believe in being unequally yoked, but I also believe that if you're gonna go into a marriage or a relationship with somebody knowing that it's a different religion, then you got to be okay with what you can't be sitting there trying to convert somebody. You got to respect where they came from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In a sense, or just don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
But I think we misuse that phrase, unequally yoked. What we have to realize is, just because someone doesn't go to church doesn't mean that they're not equally yoked. And we use the wrong version of yoke. It's not an egg yoke, it's a yoke, which means they had the two oxen that were pulling the cart. And if one oxen was lazy and wasn't pulling the cart, then the other one was doing all the work. So yoke wasn't, like an egg yoke. Yoke was the burden or the weight of the cart that the oxen had to pull. The yoke was the cart. So if you're unequal, the yoke, which is the thing that they put around their neck to help them pull the cart, if you're unequal, that means one person is doing all the work in this job or this relationship. So, we go a little overboard with the unequally yoked. If you have the same, a lot of people talk about the universe. If we have the same energy in the relationship, and we're putting forth the same amount of energy out, then you're equally yoked. It doesn't mean because you're a Christian and I'm not that you're unequally yoked. Some relationships don't work out. Some relationships don't work out because you just weren't meant to be. It didn't even have to do with being equally yoked. It just meant they weren't right for you. So we grow up listening to these phrases and we misuse these terms and these phrases, not even knowing what they really meant, and we go by exactly what what the church would say, and that's how we live. Y'all was unequally yoked anyway. Well, that doesn't mean anything, because she could have matched his energy and vice versa.
That's facts.
It just meant they didn't work hard enough together. So you can totally be not on the same level spiritually as somebody and still become equally yoked. Equally yoked just means you're getting on one accord on the same page. You're pulling at the same time. You're working just as hard.
Hey, Chris.
To get the work done. That is what the yoke was.
Okay, and that's definitely, you definitely got, you definitely on point with that one. And people were saying thank you for clarifying. I wanted Brian to go ahead and read some of the be Glenn to read some of the comments.
I don't even. You gonna have to read them up, bro, because I jumped off of it on that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I mean, before you go into that, it all boils down to communication. I mean, at the end of the day, when you get with somebody and you communicate with them, you can communicate that, hey, I'm Muslim and I'm Jehovah's Witness. We're gonna make this thing work or we not. So I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day.
Right,
go ahead and read
right.
the comments.
Man, you're right. That's the issue I had.
We got a comment.
What's up?
My man right here.
Oh, you talking about
and I think that's
hard.
I think that's half of the burden of a yoke anyway, is the communication. That's 50% of carrying that burden of the relationship.
Harder to pin. Before I read the comments, harder to pin. Is there anything you want to chime in before I read some of these comments?
Yeah, first off, before I go into what I want to say what's up to everybody. What's up to you fellas? You guys got a good thing going on here. I appreciate the conversation and the realness and the rawness that you guys bring to the table. So, and of course, Mr. Soul, I do my best to support whatever that you're doing. So I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
With that being said, there are two things I want to comment on. One, the question was asked, I think it was asked, is religion important in a marriage or relationship, or should it be important or whatnot? I think that it is, especially if you're somebody who, have very strong beliefs in faith and in God, no matter what God you believe in, whether it's a Muslim God, a Jehovah, or Christ himself, or, to plant the egg or whatever it is that you may serve or whatnot. I do think that's very important. And I do think that the two people that are involved in a relationship and marriage, they should be on the same page with that, whether they are two people who worship and celebrate the same God and have the same kind of relationship and closeness with God that they need to not only to survive as a couple, but also to survive individually. So I do think that that's important. I do think that it's a little harder to have two separate religions, especially if they're so far out there when it comes to, certain belief patterns and certain things that you shouldn't do. And you also have to think about, if you're trying to have kids and have a family, you also have to think about that too. Yeah. Like, how do you want to raise your kids in a religious environment when you have one person who may be a Muslim and one person who may be like a Pentecostal or something like that. I'm just using that for like an example. I think, to me, that's when it really gets deep from that standpoint when you're in two separate religions. Because if you plan on having kids, to me, you definitely want to bring the kids into an environment where you both know where you're going with the religious thing and how you want to approach it, and make sure that there's balance and also understanding and the respect factor that goes into that for the kids to be able to appreciate, something that's sacred as that from that standpoint.
I want to ask this question because I honestly, 100% agree with what you're talking about with that. And I want to ask everybody on the panel, everybody in the comments, has anybody really experienced being in a family where it was two different religions and they had to figure out, did they ever feel like they were in the midst of a battle, or did they ever had to be like, Dad, my mom served, God, and then my father, he served, he atheist, and it was hard for them. Has anybody ever experienced it? Like, bro, so have you ever had to experience that, or had to come across that? Anybody in the comments, Chris? Anybody? Even ladies, I want to know. Because that's
I've never experienced that personally, but I've known people and I've watched on the outside looking in people who have been through that, and from my vantage point, it never really looked good, or it never looked balanced because of certain issues that would come up, and a lot of times it would drive those people kind of away from each other, or like apart, because they couldn't just be on the same page about certain things. I remember one couple a while back who my family was kind of cool with. One of the main issues that I vaguely can remember, I don't know if it was the husband and the wife, but they, I vaguely remember a conversation that they were having. They were shouting about something, and it was about the spiritual aspect of whatever it was that they was arguing about. And one person was like, well, you knew my religious beliefs or whatnot when we first got together. Why are you trying to change me? Or something to that effect. And, so, I mean, that to me, that just goes back to something that one of the guys just got through saying. That's where the communication needs to come in at, especially with something like that. Because people don't play around with their religion and their spiritual beliefs.
Oh, I was going to say African Americans.
If you grew up a certain way, like I have, and most of you guys have, and it's embedded in you, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to change from that easily, no matter who you with, because that's just something that's ingrained in you. And then if you believe it within your own heart, from whatever kind of things that you've been through that has drawn you closer to it, it's gonna be hard to get with somebody that goes kind of against that, or just too different from that, to the point where you can try to make something like that work. At least in my opinion.
So I'm gonna ask my panel, what did y'all take on what main man saying about that? Like what did y'all thinking about it when it come down to that?
I mean, it's critical, man, because if you don't have those conversations early, especially like if you're with someone and you're thinking about having kids with that person, not talking about that particular thing once it comes up later, if y'all in different religions, then it could be a problem. Y'all could butt heads, you know what I'm saying, about, is the child gonna come to church with me, or they gonna, what I'm saying, they're gonna sit at home and be an atheist like you, or you know what I'm saying. I think it's important, man.
What's your take on that, Jody?
It can't work. It just can't work. I mean, two different, it just can't work. Because I was reading some of the comments. I'm going to read one comment.
Yeah, read them, please, because there was a lot of good ones.
Talent Speaks For Me said, like, how do you tell your children that the man is the head of the household, but the father going to a different church than the mom on Sundays? That's a true statement.
Yeah,
it was a couple other ones in there that I wanted to read.
It was a whole bunch of them, I know, but that statement right there tells it all. I mean, she also said, not at all Christians in the household, church, workshop, leading, ushers, the whole nine. Let me see what say. Ella Nad Creates 2.0 said, dad.
She had a good one.
My dad didn't really have any religion. My mom's a minister. It was awesome. Actually, I experienced that too. My mom is like one of you would call a holy roller, and her husband didn't go to church, but at the same time they made it work. So he didn't really he didn't really have a voice, so he didn't really care.
The moral of the story is it can work.
Yeah, no. Different religions, but he didn't have one, so he didn't really, he didn't really go. But we saying different religions can't work. But by him,
check this out.
Go ahead, Track.
Hey, check this out. So you know how you graduate from high school, go to college, right?
Yeah.
You go to college, your class, first couple of classes as a freshman in college. The most work you do is research in your classes. The professor's gonna give you a subject, tell you to do research. You do the research for yourself. Then when it's time to do presentation, you presenting what you research. So if college have us doing our research and getting our own knowledge to whatever we studying, why the people can't do that in the church?
You mean like
you know,
study, like the Bible says, study to show yourself approved, right?
All right, we all going to church, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now we listen to the pastor, okay? But why we not, we shouldn't need the church. We shouldn't need to be in the building to gain our knowledge.
So basically what you're saying is that the religion side is what's controlling.
We can gain our knowledge by doing research and seeking knowledge ourselves.
Basically, like having your own personal relationship, pretty much, is what you're saying. You can pretty much have your own relationship, and you don't really.
Your personal relationship with the Most High God, whoever, however you want to call it, that's it's between you. But seeking knowledge, you know what I'm saying?
That's a different thing. You say.
Yeah, I think, and to also add to that, I think the message is more so the fact that when you go to church, obviously you're supposed to seek, you're supposed to seek the word, and you get that from the pastor. Mm-hmm. But I think with a lot of people, a lot of mistake that a lot of people make is that they just go by the pastor's teaching on what the word is, instead of also taking the time out during the week or whatnot and reading the word for themselves to really gain that knowledge on their own. Because sometimes, as much as we may think that the pastor is always right, in most cases he may, and then sometimes there may be even certain things that maybe he may have missed that you could have caught on your own, you know what I'm saying? But because you didn't take the time out there to get that, you just basically just holding on to his every word. And that's not what you're supposed to do. Of course, you're supposed to take his teaching into consideration, and also get a deeper meaning and a deeper understanding of what he's saying. But you should also take that same word and study it for yourself, because not all ministers are also honest. Right. You got some that know how to take the word and flip it in ways that you wouldn't even believe, and you can just be a lost sheep out there being sold something that's really not even true. Right. But if you would take the time to read it for yourself, then you know what? You won't be easily fooled and also easily tricked by whatever the pastor's saying that may or may not even be what the word really is at the time.
Yeah. You're 100% correct, man. 100%.
I want to say JB there said that her family was in two different religions and they've been married 40 plus years, so it can work, is what she's saying. Which I feel like it can work as if you guys respect boundaries and stuff like that. But at the same time, it just depends on how, you know what I mean? Like I will say this though, I have to be honest. I feel like religion, the two biggest things that has destroyed marriages and relationships is religion and finances. That's just me. That's just what I think. And community. No, let me put it in this order. Religious family, and finances. That's what I believe. And what I mean by family is outside family, not the inside, like outsiders that's in your family. I feel like in those three orders, this is pretty much what has been the big rampant when it comes to, marriage, you know what I mean, and relationships.
So you put that over, you put outside family over communication?
Yeah, because if you really think about it, some people have more communication with their family than they do with their spouses. Sometimes they will sit there and tell something outside of their family, something that should be only kept inside of the relationship.
But that's also a you problem and a communication problem.
But that's the problem,
right?
That is exactly why communication is more important than the whole family thing. Because anybody that really knows and understands relationship knows that, especially when you're married, you don't go outside of that telling people hardly anything about your business. Better yet, anything at that, because your marriage and the sanctity of that is very sacred. It's very important. Once you go outside of that and start doing things that are questionable, now you put in danger what God has given you guys that you're supposed to hold sacred and really try to hold on to and protect. Right. So when you go outside of that and start telling people about your business, now you're bringing in you're putting your marriage and your relationship at risk and in danger for all sorts of things to come in that would never come in if you want to expose your particular, failures or whatever you want to call it to the outside world that really don't even mean you well anyway. Right. Most of the time.
Motown 1906 says finances, intimacy, comprehension, and not just communication. He said that's the order that he sees. What do y'all feel about that?
So you say intimate, well, give it again.
He said finances, intimacy, comprehension, not just communication.
No, y'all know how they say blood is thick in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another
interpretation.
That's another misconception of a phrase. Be your own family that can hinder you and stop you from a lot of stuff.
Oh wow!
He opened the can of worms now. So when it comes to family, this is just me and my opinion. When it comes to family, if you got anything to do with anything that's going to try to cut me off from moving forward or anything growing or any nature of that, I'm cutting you off.
Yeah.
I'm cutting you off.
Family can be your anchor.
No, it's no love loss. It's just you're not gonna hinder me from whatever.
Yeah. They're your anchors.
You know what I'm saying?
They could be your anchors. They could be your anchors to your ship. They could be your anchors.
Family. Hey, check this out, man. I gained my family is people that I didn't know. And I developed a good relationship with.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful.
So the question that presents itself after that is, what do you consider family sometimes? Because sometimes, family ain't really family. You could have friends that are more family than your own family.
That's my point exactly, man. Yeah. Family ain't family. Family, not these days. Family isn't family. I got family that will cross me more than the enemy.
Yeah. I was gonna say this, y'all. How many in the comments have had family allow them to make a poor decision on somebody that they may have lost out on, or somebody that came in their life and their family didn't like them, so you passed them up because of family? You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't that dumb, man.
Yeah, I don't think that was. I think in these days that ain't happening as much as it was back then.
It got to be somebody that's worth. That family member's got to be somebody that's worth it. If you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna decide who I'm gonna be with based on my family, that family member got to be solid. For you to even consider what they think about it. If they ain't worth nothing. What you think?
Yeah.
My thing is like,
hey, Motown, I feel what you're saying, man. I feel what you're saying, man. You can communicate all day, but if they're not comprehending and understanding and applying it,
you're talking in vain. Yeah, he's talking in vain.
It's nothing. But that's where it comes to, bad communication. Like, hey, you're not. Well, I'm communicating, but you're not understanding, comprehending. I mean, shit. What's the point of, holding on to something when comprehension is not there?
I agree. I agree with Track, and I agree with Motown. I feel the same exact way. I feel, and the only reason why I ask that question is because a lot of times when it comes to like mama boys, I mean, and I don't even know how fathers are with their daughters, but you know what I'm saying? Like some guys will listen to their mother over their father. I mean, their mother over their, their girl or whatever. You know what I mean? They mom be like, I don't like him, son. And then next thing you know, he breaking up with her because of mother. Or, you know what I mean? The father could be like, he ain't doing this. I'm just being real. Like, go ahead. Mama do. I have to say that. Now, my thing is this. But my thing is this though. When is she never? But when is there a chance that you're gonna take the chance to say, well, you know what? I need to figure this out for myself, Mama. I need to figure this out for myself.
Well, you should figure out for yourself
anyway. Yeah, I think it goes back.
What people's opinions are, but don't be crazy and just go by whatever they say.
Some people do.
I think it's okay for families to give it to you straight, but sometimes family members give some unsolicited opinion when they don't need to say anything. Some people ain't got no business, so they should just mind the business that pay them and just mind nothing. Just worry about it.
Yeah.
Because they always got their mouth on something, and it's just they don't even have the status to even comment. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't even have the right to even comment or give an opinion and give it to you straight. They don't even have themselves straight to give you nothing straight.
Exactly.
I think that you should definitely. I think you should definitely value people who you respect. I think you should definitely value people who you respect, whether it's family or close friends or however that they are important to you. I think you should value their advice and their opinion about certain things. But at the end of the day, once you take in the information that is given to you by those people who you respect, then it's really up to you how you feel after hearing all that and after reevaluating your own situation and just really just following your heart and your gut and whatever it is that God or whoever may be telling you outside of those people, and just go with that. Because at the end of the day, those people that give you their advice, who you respect, they got good intentions. And they may even have some experience in what you're going through, but only you can live that life that they have already lived. So that's why it's very important for you to make your sound choice and decision based off of you and your situation, because you know it better than those people do, and you know what's best for you. At least you appear to think you know what's best for you, and taking the information and taking whatever the people or the advice that people are taking their time to give to also, taking the time to also give you, but be sure that at the end of the day, you're happy with the choice that you're making soundly on how you feel and how you see the situation, and if it's best for you and if it's going to make you happy at that particular time.
Okay. Yeah. So this is what we're going to do. And I thank you for saying that, Heart of the Pen. That was definitely a great statement you made. We're about to go into the next topic before we leave. But before we go into the next topic, I wanted Jody to read Motown 1906 comment. He left a very dope comment. So I wanted you to read that one.
Motown 1906 says, that's a whole other issue. What you want or need is not or should not be based on what anyone else thinks of the individual. You got to be careful.
That's facts. So I definitely want the panel. I definitely want the folks up here to chime in on what you think about this next topic before we get up out here off the live. Go ahead, B.
Don't live here no more. I can't do this no more.
So relationship. So this next article comes to me from Jim Brown, the new contributor. It says, I didn't appreciate my husband until I realized the relationships we had was over. Said relationships are a journey full of peaks, valleys, and weird, unexpected gray areas in between. Caring for a partner and their needs is not without a certain sacrifice. Relationships take a concerted effort, and marriage is a serious commitment. Staying interested and engaged with your partner after many, many years is not only a challenge, but it often takes remembering who it is that you are in a relationship with and why you were attracted to them in the first place. Losing that intoxicating feeling of desire and romance in a long-term relationship is often par for the course. Many couples struggle after so many years to get back to the origins of their relationship and essentially hit the reset button to jog their brains back to how things used to be. The truth is that things will never go back to how they used to be in any relationship. Things will never change. Things will never be like they used to be when you were first dating. Things will never be like they were before you moved in together. Things will never be like they used to be before you had children together. Therein lies the issue. I think so many long-term couples they're trying to get back something that's long gone, but it's gone for a reason. Those days are over. The part of a relationship is over. You've got to be able to move on to the next phase of a relationship and evolve instead of trying to recapture a feeling that simply cannot be remanufactured. This is why I started looking at my husband differently and actually appreciating the things about him that gotten lost in the shuffle of life. I started seeing my husband in a new light. I had to turn with the world as it revolved on its axis and adapt to the way we as people change along with it. However, despite the duties of day-to-day life that can batter any relationship, the way my husband grins with soft light on his face is still there. The sexy way he looks with a beard is still there. The way his shoulders carries his confidence is still there. The way he always looks at me with a blazing adoration as if he's seeing me for the very first time and totally enamored with me is still there. What do you guys think about that?
Dang.
That was the topic. Give me the topic, real good. That was like, give me a topic.
I agree with all of that.
I mean, I feel like
my thing is, how often does she make it known that she notices that he notices her, and vice versa? How often do you make it known that you still appreciate the way he looks at you every day? You still appreciate,
Mm-hmm.
How often does she make it a point to appreciate it for real, as opposed to just noticing it?
Right. That's a good question, Chris.
Yeah.
That's a real good question.
I think the most important thing to really take from what she said, and just really take from marriages in general, which brings me up to something that I wanted to mention about something that y'all talked about early on. There was a statement one of you guys made, or question. Y'all was saying, how did it go? It was something about, when people say that they grow, they grow apart. And one of you guys was like, well, how's that possible? How does that happen? Something to that effect. So, and then after hearing this, I think something that, especially if you're married, more so if you're married than anything, and something that I learned later on to a certain degree, is that marriage is it's definitely a continuous journey. It goes through peaks and valleys, but more importantly, the person that you with is not gonna always be that person that was 10 years ago, whether it's with looks or personality or maturity. And I think that that's something that as people that are married, I think we need to really remember and think about, is that the person you was with 10 years ago, she may not be that same person now. She may have come to evolve in certain ways, in certain aspects that you probably don't want her to, or you probably didn't expect that she would. Meanwhile, you still, the same person that you were, and you thinking the same way that you are, and you still stuck on that. Meanwhile, this person has elevated or, went, a whole different direction in life, and sometimes that can clash in a marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because the way one person is maturing and also elevating may be different than what the other person, the person that they with, is not necessarily ready for at that time. And that can cause a lot of division. And it's not always about like sex or money or stuff like that. It can just be two people really growing apart because of how they thinking, what their mentality is about life in general, and how they should do certain things. Because as you get older, you do mature differently, and you do think differently. And sometimes we don't always get that, and that can cause a lot of rifts. So I just think the thing that I got from what she was saying is that certain things are still there, but you have to understand that the longer that you guys are together, the more you guys are growing. Whether you're going together or you're going apart, certain things are not going to always be the same, and you have to learn to adapt, learn new ways and maybe dealing with each other. Your love language now may not be the same as it was 10 years ago. So it might actually change.
So before we go into the I'm gonna say this
go ahead.
because I want to make sure I get these comments too. out of the way because there is comments in here that I want to read.
Yeah, Motown 1906 said, "Folks want all the peaks without valleys, and really look at social media thinking it can happen. Folks think that if they leave, they can find better and realize after that what they had was already dope." That's from Motown _1906.
Keep going. There's a couple more down there too. There's a couple.
And then JB Dar said, "Marriage is ever evolving." Let me see.
Just Jay. He said, "Do you have to be intentional in your relationship? Do you have to be intentional in your relationship?" Motown 1906 said, "Listen, the reason why people renew their vows is for that very reason. Marriage is supposed to be forever, but you realize you change. So you going through a renewal helps you see that you are willing to."
Yeah. And you know, I think we touched on this early on in the podcast where we talked about, you know, like you gotta evolve. You know what I'm saying? You gotta change. You know what I'm saying? Life has changed. Your work has changed. You know what I'm saying? Everything is about change. And if you're not able to change, then you can't move forward. I mean, that's just what it is. So I think like what this lady said in this, she said that you know, she began to give her husband words of affirmation. I think us as men sometimes just need that, but women need that as well. You know what I'm saying? They need to know that they're beautiful. They need to know that, you know what I'm saying, that they're doing their due diligence in a relationship, you know? So those are just some things, my thoughts.
I want Chris to go ahead because we're about to close it down in a little bit. We're coming down to that to the hour. But before we go there, Chris, I definitely want you to go ahead and
I was just gonna agree with him. It goes back to how you were saying about being equally yoked. That yoke, that equal yoke is being willing to share that burden of growth, being willing to share that burden of the peaks and the valleys, and continuing to want to renew that every day. That's why we put a big emphasis on being equally yoked, because you gotta be willing to be with someone who is willing to do the work, even when it is for better or for worse, even when it is bad. You know, we want to keep growing. You know, you have to be with somebody who's ambitious enough to want to keep growing and want to keep evolving, and not be with somebody who, you know, ain't gonna never change. This is who I am. Who I was when you met me, and if you didn't like it, you know, that's an unequally yoked person from the back. When you hear it, you know, someone who's not willing to grow, someone who's not willing to change or willing to compromise. That's how you know it ain't right, because they're not understanding that you will change, you will grow, you will evolve, and if you don't, it just don't work.
So on that note, this is what we're going to do. I appreciate everybody. And Chris, that was very well said, number one.
Indeed.
Very well said. And before we leave, we're going to go out with a bang. That's what I want y'all to do. Make sure y'all follow Podcast Head. Also, make sure y'all download No More Love. And with that being said, we're going to go out with a bang tonight. We're going to go ahead and do something special for y'all. Do something special for my homie right here, because this is my homie. He been up here rocking with us since day one, and I appreciate him. So we're going to go out like this. He already know what it is. I always got to show my folks love. And if y'all ever want to go out with a bang with us, make sure you send us your music and we can crank it up like this. This is Here I Am by yours truly, Chris Michael, in the building. Bang, bang. Yes, sir.
Walk with me on this journey.
Appreciate everybody.
Don't be afraid to take my hand. I guided to a place where only love is gone.
I've been bumping this jump, Chris. I've been bumping this jump. I know all the lyrics. Nigga, I woke up to it. I was like, what the hell? He said this song fits too. It definitely does, bro.
I'll never let you go, baby. Said you want someone to love you, I can. Said you need to be loved for who you are.
Definitely like to thank
I will take you if you want what you say you want, baby. I give you that, and more. We've been down this road before. We don't know what fate has in store. ain't no game. You know that I'm right for you. Don't be afraid. Ooh, yeah. Will not pretend. But trust me. I understand. If I can, did you want someone to love you? I can. Did you need love for who you are? We what you say you want, baby, baby. Yeah, I give you that, give you that. Just can't see my life without you. Don't wanna be without you. See you won't let me go. Oh, baby. Did you want someone to love you? I can. To be loved, set you free, oh, baby.
That was your boy right there, Chris Mike on the building. Shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Next time you will be back with the podcast head. Yo, if you want your music played, I got you right here. I was trying to add you up, Motown. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this right here. Y'all make sure y'all follow his music right there in the bottom. Please make sure you follow my boy. We're gonna be definitely playing your music next time, Motown. You already know what it is. Everybody, much love. God bless
Like
you.
I say,
Bang.
like I say, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come on in. We can be friends. Y'all have a good night.